allowed, and you are, to not give out full depth charts? Because I would never give out a depth chart, but here's the problem. You have to send, like during the week, you have conference rules with sending depth charts and film, right? Film exchange. You have to have the film sent over by a certain time on Sunday. There's always a big deal with the film guys. But depth chart-wise, you don't have to send like the actual depth chart. You could put, like, you could really mess with people.
Yeah.
You could put offensive linemen at quarterback. Why would I not do that? Why would I not Dr. Seuss the whole depth chart?
Did y'all do that?
So what we used to do, because there's like the little things, like there is some like honor. You know, they say there's like no honor amongst thieves. There's some honor in this, but there's little things that you do. So like, for example, we would put, and I used to hate this as a special teams guy when people did this to us. So we did it to other people. We would, like, if any sort of whatever punt formation you run, whether it's, you know, pro style, where you have the personal protector, or whether you have you run the shield punt, whether it's 2-man shield, 3-man shield, we used to always put a backup quarterback, like as second on the depth chart as personal protector, as PP, or you know, somebody with an eligible number that could possibly throw the ball on the shield in a backup role. Because when we sent that over on Tuesday, well, you still got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, walk through Saturday. So you've got to work it at least a little bit. I used to have to do the same thing. I'd be like, I'd go in there and be like, all right, coach, go to the head coach, be like, they got their backup quarterback, some, you know, stout kid who's not ever going to play. Maybe they're Wildcat guy, maybe they're short yardage guy. But we got to work on it. You got to let them know. You got to let your guys know, hey, listen, if 13 comes into the game at PP, we got to start screaming, alert, 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 watch the fake, watch the fake. And they never did. Like now when I was at South, we had a guy, and he doesn't mind if I say this, buddy of mine, named Trey Fettner, who was a backup quarterback that we put in, but he was perfect for it. He was like stout, strong, could throw it well enough, could block, was physical, was a good runner. He used to give guys fits. The amount of panic that you would see, I mean, it's knock at the cabin panic. Like Batista showed up telling you have to, you know, sacrifice one of you guys to prevent the apocalypse panic. Like people running around, the amount of safe, because the whole goal is you try and get the punt return team in safe, right? Because if you're in safe, you're not going to return it. You're not going to block it. We got time. The punter relaxes. You know, it's there's just so much gamesmanship. That's the little stuff that, while it was annoying, that's
all a distraction.
You kind of missed.
Stop causing distractions over there.
And by not sending a depth chart, you cause a distraction.
Over there distracting the other team.
Look, everybody come in here and see how good I look. Jimbo Fisher names Texas A&M starting quarterback. We're going to break it down. The Arizona Cardinals will be without quarterback Kyler Murray for at least 4 games of the season. Insert Call of Duty joke here. And Tim Brando joins us to discuss all the top stories and games in week 1 of the college football season. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Connor Wegman has a chance to be a star not only in the SEC, but college football in general. Now, I don't utter that phrase lightly. I'm not one of the sports media guys that just compliments everybody. And while there are many reasons why I think the new Aggie starter could be elite, let's look at some of the biggest ones. The first is, even though he was only a freshman last year, you could tell he knew what he was seeing coverage-wise. And he was able to not only diagnose it pre-snap, but he could see the mid-play movement by safeties and the changing guys in the box. He wasn't overwhelmed by any disguises he got or the multiple looks he received from the front 7. Half of the battle for young quarterbacks and quarterbacks in general that are developing is not oversimplifying or overcomplicating what they are actually getting. And he's only going to get better at this as he continues to develop and sees even more looks from defenses. The more knowledge you see, the more knowledge you gain. Now, there will still be some growing pains, but I don't expect him to make the same mistakes repeatedly. It's the definition of growth. Now, secondly, he was able to make anticipatory throws and extend the play both inside and outside of the pocket. Now, just like in life, football is all about timing. He was rarely late on his timing routes, and if the first couple of reads weren't available, he didn't panic. He can also move laterally and vertically within the pocket while being a deceptive runner. This ability causes nightmares for defensive coordinators because typically when plays break down, quarterbacks that can extend the plays both ways tend to be able to not only find people coming back towards the ball to the sideline or heading toward the end zones. Now, this comes in handy as well when a coverage fools a quarterback and he has to improvise. We saw this a lot when he torched Ole Miss for about 340 yards and 4 touchdowns last year. Now, thirdly, he is enough of a threat as a runner to be able to implement zone read or RPO actions. Now, Weigman won't be mistaken for Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick anytime soon, but he has enough wiggle to hold backside defensive ends and slow down linebackers and nickels' eyes on RPO actions. Now, how much of this will we see from the Petrino-Fisher offense? I don't know. But knowing Bobby's past, he is going to use every bullet available in the chamber, especially in the red zone when the field shrinks. Now, the quarterback run game lets you truly be able to get a hat on a hat, which pays dividends on short yardage downs as well. Now, lastly, he has an OC and a supporting cast around him that should help him progress even quicker than he has, including a talented offensive line that should be more grown up. Obviously, a quarterback's best friend is up front, and match that with a security blanket at tight end and most of your wide receiver production back, and the recipe is there for an offense to cook. Now, Connor Weigman isn't perfect. Nobody says he is. But he does have a luxury, and A&M has a luxury to be able to have a backup quarterback in Max Johnson that's very capable in case something happens. That breeds confidence across the board. Now, all these things together should make the 12th man mighty happy this year, but even happier next year. We're bringing my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my handy capable brother.
That's right.
Former Western State, Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. I've got A&M going 8-4 this year, 4-4 in the conference, and I have circled 2024 as a big year. But naming Connor Weigman the guy, I think it's the right choice. Mm-hmm. Having Max Johnson behind him is huge, and I don't think Max will be there past December. But when I look at Connor's game, and I'm going to go through his numbers from last year.
I have him right here.
Okay. He was 73 of 132, over 55% completion percentage, 900 yards, almost 7 yards per attempt, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 132.3. But when you go back and you watch the tape, you can tell he knows what he's looking at. That's the biggest thing to me. Because a lot of times guys go in there and play whose line is it anyway. I'll get to the first read, especially young guys. After that, I'm just going to run around and try and Johnny Manziel this thing. That's not who Connor Weigman is. And I think you mix him with Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino, the true Bobby Fisher story, if you ask me. I think A&M has a legitimate guy at quarterback that I think can really excel, not only at this level, I think he's going to be an NFL player.
You think so?
I really do.
The Bobby Fisher story. Let's hope they're playing some 3D chess. Texas A&M fans hope they're playing 3D chess. This shouldn't surprise that many people. I mean, Billy Lucci told us what was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. So I'll just offer the perspective of someone who is not a Texas A&M alum or a Texas A&M fan, but I'm certainly intrigued by the Jimbo Fisher experiment there. A guy who comes in who really knows offenses, won a national championship at Florida State with Jameis Winston. Season before last, you have Zach Calzada, at quarterback. That team goes 8-4, and really, to me, the last signature win. I mean, that win over Alabama at home was electric, right? We can still remember that game. Zach Calzada transfers out after the season. Max Johnson comes in from LSU, but you still name Haynes King the starting quarterback, right? And we were looking at that like, hey, the upside just must be that much better than what Max Johnson is going to bring. Didn't really work out. Haynes King transfers out after a 5-7 season. Max Johnson's still on the roster. Now you're going to name Connor Weigman the starting quarterback, and to me, you can't miss on this one, right? Especially you're bringing in Bobby Petrino to be the OC after a losing season. There's a lot of pressure. Can't miss, and I don't think they will. I mean, you just read off Connor Weigman's stats from last season. Of the 3 guys, he had the lowest completion percentage, but he had the best touchdown interception ratio, 8-0, had 896 passing yards. There's a good sample size there. And to me, the biggest questions are, Are there any personnel disagreements right now in fall camp between Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino, on who they want to be the starting quarterback? And then how long will the leash be if Connor Wegman struggles early, say on the road at Miami or when SEC play starts? How long will the leash be, knowing that you have a guy back there in Max Johnson who is very, very steady, former NFL player's son? When will he get his shot if it goes bad early?
Yeah, I thought you brought up a great point last time we talked about A&M, and that the problems with Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino, I don't think people are seeing underneath the surface. I don't think it's going to be a play calling situation where the problems arise. Typically, problems arise in personnel decisions, which you see through fall camp, right? It percolates through the spring, through summer workouts. You get to fall camp, you actually have to make that decision. That would be where the argument is. Or a should we go for it on 4th and 2? What should we run the play action on our should we take this chance at midfield on a play action on 3rd and 1 instead of just running the ball? It's not necessarily, hey, do we need to run, double post? Do we need to run power? Do we need to run counter? A lot of it is personnel and kind of the functioning of, hey, do we need a timeout right here? We didn't need to burn one. We only got one left. We're in the 3rd quarter. So I thought that was a great point you brought up. Blaine, we all know you're a huge A&M guy.
Huge A&M guy. I've always been a huge A&M guy. This is the year, y'all.
I do want to say Haynes King has won the job at Georgia Tech. I'm rooting for that kid as the starting quarterback under Brent Key. I hope he figures it out. I think he has to totally change his throwing motion. But that's a story for another day. When you look at Connor Wegman, after what you saw last year, at home, beat LSU, 38-23, 12 of 18, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns. Versus Ole Miss at home, they lost by 3, but you threw for 340 on 28 of 44, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think the biggest thing is on the road, right? At Auburn, you struggled 14-36, did have a touchdown pass with no turnovers. You didn't turn it over at all. Then against South Carolina, we all know that story, 8 of 15 for 91 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. You were over 100 quarterback rating in every game but the Auburn game, and somehow, you lost that to a Brian Harsin team. You went 14-36. We're going to know early. You go to Miami week 2.
Yeah, and you got to think the first week of last year's game was Sam Houston and Haynes King threw for 360 yards. So I'm not going to sit here and say that
one guy.
Connor Wegman's not going to come out here and look good against, New Mexico week 1. Obviously, he's going to look good. But we get to the bread, but the kid has talent. We know that. We saw that. But he does have things he needs to work on. The best thing that happened to him was Bobby Petrino coming to be the offensive coordinator, right? And when it comes to arguments for going on 4th down or personnel arguments, there's one voice in this room, right? And that's Jimbo Fisher. There's levels to this. And Bobby Petrino knows that. I think you saw that when he came out in the interview and said that Jimbo Fisher is the head coach of this football team. What Jimbo Fisher says, that's what's going to happen. I think he knows that. I think A&M fans know that deep down too. But you look at these games, and obviously he had a great game against Ole Miss. Hell, I could probably strap it up and throw it for 225 against Ole Miss.
Not right
I don't
now.
know a lot of people. Hell, I'm talking about right now too.
Not right this second.
Well, maybe with the injury, maybe 162 touchdowns. We'll see the quarterback rating, see how it goes. But 120 yards against Auburn, you scored 10 points. That ain't gonna cut it. You beat UMass, Massachusetts 20-3. You had 190 yards. All right, you threw for 150 against LSU. A-Chain ran for 220. All right, A-Chain isn't there anymore. Your offensive line's good, right? We'll see. A&M's got to prove it to me. All right?
Yeah,
it's every year. It's every year with A&M. They got this guy. They've been talented. Hell, they were talented last year.
Well, we bashed Haynes King. No, we destroyed Haynes King on this show. We sat here and said A&M's not going to do anything because
that's what I mean.
Maybe we're talking about everybody else.
Max Johnson came in. We love Max.
I know he should have won the job. I think everybody agrees with that.
And Max is a great player, in my opinion. Maybe not great, but good.
I like Max.
I say good, and they still didn't what? They still didn't win games. All right, still didn't win games. Connor Wegman, I think, has a higher upside than Max. I really do. But Max is a steady Betty back there. All right, he's almost an offensive coordinator, that playing quarterback, which he's a leader, which is what you want. A&M's got to prove it to me this. They got the pieces. They've always had the pieces. It's hard not to be good at recruiting in Texas. Everyone wants to go play in Texas. Hell, it's a great state to play in. But Jimbo won. I'm glad. I'm hearing good things about he's clearing his voice. Everyone knows who the HC is. You look on the back of the shirt, what it says? It says head coach. Yeah. All right, and Bobby Petrino knows that. All right, but Wegman still's got stuff to prove to me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to give A&M the benefit of the doubt.
And again, A&M does have to prove it. I don't think anybody's sitting here saying that Connor Wegman's going to win the Heisman. But when I look at what A&M has had recently at quarterback and where the problems have been, I think this guy has about as much upside as anybody they've had in a while. I really do believe that because I've watched him operate within the pocket, outside of the pocket. Now, we will see. You get New Mexico at home to start off. All right, let's get on the right foot. Right, let's bring out an appetizer. Let's play it safe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's caprese salad. Hell, maybe it's cheddar biscuits. Everybody likes that. Good. Yeah, if you don't, hold on, not open the door. It's the FBI. We have some questions to ask.
If this kid comes out and balls, I mean, if he's Johnny Manziel-esque, the narrative, whether fair or not, is going to be, man, Bobby Petrino coming in really got that offense right. It's not going to be, oh, Jimbo Fisher finally got his quarterback.
Well, I mean, look, if he goes in, we'll know September 9th when they go down to Miami Gardens, all right, at Hard Rock Stadium against Miami, Mario Cristobal and the boys. Then you get ULM at home. You get Auburn at home. You get Arkansas neutral site. And then you get Bama at home. Okay, and that's a game I picked the Aggies to win. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So it's going to be fascinating to watch. Let us know in the comments. What do you think about Connor Wegman? Make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you're following us on all social media. If you're watching us on X or Twitter X or whatever, make sure you're following at Crane Company and following all of our socials, and go sign up for the Daily Wire and Daily Wire Plus. So you can go get all this great content. It helps out everybody. It's a Michael Scott win, win, win. But you know what else is a win, win, win? Before we get to the Booster Club?
DraftKings?
Wow, you nailed it.
Get out of my head.
All right, we got week 1 coming up, which really deep down, we all know it's week 2, but I'm going to play this word semantics games that we continue to do. And DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking you up with a can't-miss offer to start the season strong. It's a Justin Tucker situation you can't miss. Because this week, new customers can bet just $5 on college football and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. All right, we're going to break down all the games. We have some great Thursday games. Florida and Utah, still don't know about the Dark Knight, Cam Rising. What's he doing? Nebraska, Minnesota, I think is a little bit sneaky.
I like that.
All right, there's some under-the-radar games this weekend, too. UTSA, Houston, South Alabama, Tulane. We know South Carolina, North Carolina. We know FSU, LSU on Sunday. We know Clemson at Duke. Shout out Mike Elko. On Monday is going to be a big one. But there's some really good kind of under-the-radar games. And we all know life's more fun when you're in on the action. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. And use our code BOOSTER. You want this deal? Use the code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, because new customers, like I said, can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. That's only on DraftKings Sportsbook with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. The crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net in New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE-NEW YORK 467-369 in Connecticut. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit cpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Camp. Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age, varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkngd.com/football for eligibility forms and responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Wasn't as good as yesterday. I'm trying to speed read. Batteries sold separately.
There.
And also, we're going to put the link to the merch in the chat. Go buy some of that. We'd really appreciate it. We got some new ideas we want to throw in there, but we can't do that until you buy it out. And if you love us, like we love you, you're in the trust tree, under the wing, go buy that merch. It's a great Christmas present. And also, it's a great, hey, it's college football season present.
I love it.
I love college football season.
Well done.
Presents.
I do too.
Exactly right. All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Troy Jacobs. What's up, Troy, with a $50 donation.
Troy.
Throw the bag at your boys, buddy. Morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you, sir. Can I get a shout out to the Liberty Falcons rookie tackle program? Also, my oldest son, Eli, for showing so much effort and the lack of fear when sticking his nose in there on defense and making some textbook tackles.
Yep.
I see it, Eli. Keep it up, buddy.
Wow.
Liberty
Get dirty.
Eagles, let's go. For liberty and justice for all. Eli, keep sticking your face in it. See what you hit.
Yep. Let's go to
what you hit.
Let's go to Miss Kevin with a $5 donation. Thank you. I missed yesterday's show, which was my level up day. 28 looks good on me.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel after the first weekend of college football?
Happy level up day, brother.
Happy level up day. You're right past Blaine Nate.
Yeah, August babies.
Who leveled up on Sunday, almost 30. That's a dirty 30 for anybody that's keeping track at home. How do I feel? I feel right. Everything's right with the world.
Mm-hmm.
I got up last Saturday. I had to waste a bunch of time because I was so excited. I got up super early. And you know, whenever it's college football season, like I'll wake up and I just walk outside and like the air feels better. Like the sun It's shining brighter. Like the animals are happier. Like I take my animal, like I grabbed my French bulldog and I just loved her and just hugged her.
Just pet her.
And pet her. Massage.
Now the next step is we say goodbye to summer. Fall rolls around.
Oh, that weather! Come on.
Crispy in the air. Put a hoodie on.
I need red zone.
A little apple cider.
I need NFL red zone in my life.
No, it's coming. Red zone is coming. But we're thankful for college football.
I'm
right
thankful,
now.
but I want more. This is America. I want more.
Yeah,
that's the way it works.
With that mustache,
Kylo Ren.
Let's go to Josh Phillips. What's up, Josh? Said y'all said Texas is back. Why not say A&M and Texas are back? I won't believe neither until I see it.
I have Texas winning the Big 12. Did y'all have Texas winning the Big 12?
I got Texas in the playoff, buddy.
I have them losing to Kansas State in the regular season. They avenged that loss in the Big 12 championship and beat Kansas State. But it's more of a Steve Sarkisian thing to me than a Texas.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm not a fruit salesman. I don't do these things in pairs. Like I'm going to pick one without the other. I think Texas is going to make the playoff. I've already told you that. I think A&M is on the right track, and people say, oh, well, all everybody says is it's the next year, I've been saying 2024 for the last 2 years. Shout out to our guy, Billy Lucci and David Nuno over there at Texags. We've had that one circled for the past couple of years, and I think Connor Wegman's going to be a big reason why in 2024 A&M can have that breakthrough year, especially if Petrino comes back. They have a good year this year. If he stays, I think 2024 is going to be legitimate. But no, you've got to be able to separate the teams. These things don't happen in pairs. Just like Auburn and Alabama aren't always good in the same year. It's Michigan State aren't always good in the same year. It just works out like that.
All right, let's go to Travis Elrod, #Ask Crane and Company. If personnel is the issue, not play calling, then how is bringing in Bobby Petrino going to help?
Well, it's nobody said that play calling wasn't one of the problems. I think you can say that play calling's been a problem with Jimbo Fisher. What we're saying is if there's going to be beef between Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino, it's not going to happen most likely because of play calling. It's going to happen because of personnel decisions. Those are two totally different things. You can sit here and Bobby Petrino wasn't there last year, right? Bobby Petrino is the one who's going to call most of the plays. Now, we've talked about the way play calling works. It's a team effort. If you've ever been on a headset, everybody's helping everybody with the flow of information. Typically, that one voice at the end is the offensive coordinator or the head coach if he's calling the plays. But sometimes the head coach will say, hey, I do want to see this here. Or the OC will be like, coach, what you like? Hey, what you think? You want to go zone run? You want to go gap run? What are you liking? And you'll communicate with that with each other. But we're talking about if there's going to be beef between Bobby Petrino and Jimbo Fisher, that's going to be why. Not the issues that were plaguing them last year. Those are two separate things.
And another thing with the mindset of Jimbo Fisher, he may not be thinking, you know what I need to do is get someone in here who knows the offensive game even more than I do, and then we'll be a better football team. These guys have big egos. I don't think that's what Jimbo Fisher's thinking. It could be, I need to get someone in here who knows the game as well as I do so I can relinquish the play calling duties and focus on the team more holistically, but at least we won't take a step back from a play calling standpoint. I bet that's more of his mindset.
No, that's another good point. I want to hear from A&M fans, too. What do you guys think about Wegman?
Let's go to Sean Pennison, #Ask Crane and Company. How much of a loss is Devin A-Chain to this A&M roster?
Well, he's going to be a huge loss.
Anytime you lose an NFL running back.
Yeah, but I do think, that there's some young guys. The Ruben Owen kid at running back, I think, has a chance to really be special. The thing about A-Chain was his speed was so elite. It changed the way you'd have to defend A&M, especially when he came in motion on that speed sweep action, the way that he could stretch you horizontally. Obviously, he could hit the home run when he got north, but A-Chain wasn't a track guy that was playing football. A-Chain also had some physicality to him. He could roll his hips through contact. He could run through arm tackles. That's what makes those guys dangerous, just like we talk about dual threat quarterbacks. You have some running backs that are more speed guys, more track guys, more straight line guys. You have other guys that are really, really shifty, right? Like a Tank Bigsby that may not hit the home run for 80 yards, but he's got really good burst. He's got really good lateral movement. I think A-Chain, who could also catch the ball out of the backfield, who could also run routes, which I think you're going to see him do with the Miami Dolphins when they go empty personnel a lot this year. That's what made him dangerous, was his versatility. He was a Swiss Army knife with Olympic speed.
What's his health status right now, A-Chain?
I think he's good.
I think he's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just a minor injury in preseason?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I believe so.
I'm excited to watch him in Miami.
Dude, I'm telling you, his speed was there too, but his jump cut was one of the nastiest jump cuts.
Yeah, he's a football player.
His 1 foot in the ground cut to get upfield. You can't touch this kid in a phone booth.
Yeah. He's a football player playing running back.
Let's go to Huey Icewater on X.
They can run track.
He says, week 4 at Auburn, at Texas A&M is huge for both teams. What's your opinion on that game?
I gotta see both of them first. Just, projection-wise, I think it'll be the first time Auburn plays somebody with better personnel than them. And I think a lot of that momentum that A&M has depends on what they do at Miami. You're stepping in that game with a lot different feeling if you go down to Miami and lose that game week 2 if you're A&M. The amount of pressure, there's already going to be pressure because it's an SEC game. It's the first one of the year. It's at home. But you go down there and lose to Miami, the pressure is doubled for A&M to beat Auburn at home.
And how is Miami going to be this year? I mean, 5-7.
Well, you're young but really talented up front. Mario's brought in some guys on that offensive line that are really talented. We're worried about the wide receiver position, which is crazy to think at Miami. Van Dyke, we've talked to some scouts that thought he was a little bit overrated last year, not super high on him this year. He kind of plods along.
That may be better for him,
though. That may be better for him, like Devin Leary.
We put out our top 10 quarterbacks list last year, like we do every season, and Miami fans were reaching out to me, where's Tyler Van Dyke? Why isn't he on your list? And, he proved not to be in the top 10, but everyone was trying to push him up there in the top 10, top 5. Maybe this year, flying more under the radar, he can play within himself a little bit more.
Devin Leary. Another guy like that.
Yes,
I know they're different players, but sometimes that lowered expectation. All right, one more and we're going to get...
Let's go to M. Hutton with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Huddy. It's my level up day. 32, boys.
Yeah.
Love the show.
Huddy.
You guys are the best. Fight on forever. Hey, man, you got to figure that defense out. I'm sick of it.
Here's what I'll say, Huddy. Me and you, we go back and forth on social about USC's defense. And I like USC.
Yeah.
I've always liked USC.
I do too.
I don't have a personal vendetta against USC, but my job is to not tell you what you want to hear. My job is to tell you what I think and what I think you need to hear. And the standard at USC, and it should be, is national championship. It's not Pac-12 championship only. It's national championship. Same thing for Lincoln Riley. He's had Heisman winners. He's won the conference. He's had great seasons. He's had all the NFL scouts come down there and be like, hey, can you teach us the braille that you're showing to your players? Somehow you communicate it in 2 movements or whatever to be able to get it in there. The last thing he has to do is win a national championship. And until that defense makes that next step, and who knows, maybe they could figure it out here in a couple weeks. I hope they do. But just like a lot of things, just like Joe Milton, just like Penn State with Drew Aller, just like A&M, until we see it, I'm not going to believe it, and I don't think we're going to believe it. But don't have a personal vendetta against Ohio State. Don't have a personal vendetta against USC. I'm just going to tell you what I really think. And that's why you watch this show, because again, and Blaine says it best, if our job was to make you happy, we'd sell you ice cream and cookies and puppies and rainbows. We don't do that. We talk about sports. We're sports hosts. That's what we do. But I can make you super duper happy really quickly with our friends over at Good Ranchers. All right, we got the summer going into fall. Yep. It's tailgate season. And you can't be dropping the ball for your boys, all right? Or you can't show up with some low-grade quality meat that everybody looks around and just has to give to the animals because it's not worthy. And Good Ranchers, they never let you down. They get every 3rd and 3 ever of all time, okay? We know inflation's crazy too. How about if you could lock in your price for 2 years? That'd be great. Wish I could do that on everything. Thank God I did it on my interest rate in my house. And you may be thinking, a price lock meat on guarantee on meat? Yeah, it's amazing, and you need to do it. They're the only meat company that locks in your price with their industry-first price lock guarantee. Been doing it since 2021. And when you subscribe to Good Ranchers, you get a guaranteed price and you get a trusted 100% American source for your favorite cuts. They're not bringing this in over here from England or Ireland. This is grown in the soil of the greatest country God has ever graced this planet with, and that is the United States of America. All right, so visit goodranchers.com. Use our code BOOSTER for $30 off any box. You got the new pork box, David.
I did.
You absolutely love it.
Got the pork box.
Yep, I got the butcher's box. Absolutely love it. Blaine?
Chicken.
That's promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, goodranchers.com. Goodranchers.com. American meat delivered. Let's go to All Sports Rapid Fire.
All right, let's do it. There we go. Let's start with Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh. He had a press conference yesterday. He told reporters that it's time for a change and that student athletes should benefit from the billions of dollars generated by college sports via revenue sharing. This is nothing new from Jim Harbaugh. He's been saying this for a long time, which is no surprise that he's suspended for the first 3 games of this season, but we won't talk about that. But then after talking on this revenue sharing for about 5 minutes, he said, we should all be about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm calling for a system that is fair, equitable, and benefits for all involved. It's like they can't.
What?
They have to put that phrase in there.
You need more white players, is what you're saying?
I don't know what he means.
You watched a game?
It's like he made his statement, right, that he wanted to make it, but then you have to put in like a clickable phrase.
Well, to me, this is like when you talk about the rev sharing. It's like on Eastbound and Down when Kenny Powers is on Sports Sesh, the show, and the guy's like, yeah, you need to build a rapport with the fans. That's why it's not about the contract. He's like, man. If you want about the contract, then why didn't you play for free, dog? Why don't you give him some of your money, Jim? You want some rev share? You got plenty.
Yeah.
Why don't you give him some? How much you making? And you're not even working the first 4 weeks. What? Look, at some point, there's been a lot of distractions outside of just Michigan lining up and playing East Carolina.
I know.
If I was Jim Harbaugh, I'd probably just, you know what I'd do? I'd probably go to my fridge. I'd go to my cabinet. I'd open it up. I'd grab a cup, put it on the counter. I'd go to the fridge, I'd open up the fridge, and I'd get a nice pitcher of just shut the hell up and coach. And I would just pour it in the glass till it was filled to the brim and I would drink it. Y'all need to worry about East Carolina. How about that? I'm sick of hearing about Jim Harbaugh. I picked Michigan to win the whole thing, but I'm starting to get nervous because every time I hear
hadn't been nervous?
Yeah, no.
You hadn't been nervous?
Because every time I hear about Michigan, it's about Jim Harbaugh saying something. It's not about that offensive line. Not about Blake Corum. It's not about J.J. McCarthy. It's not about that defense. It's about Jim Harbaugh saying something that's got nothing to do with what's going to happen on the field.
Blaine, say what you will about this guy.
Yeah.
He is sincere. And when he says things like this, I really believe him. He's been talking
I'm not
about
saying I don't believe him.
He's been looking out for the student athlete.
For sure.
I get all
Who's
that.
doubting that?
The timing, hey, we're about to suit up and play football week 1, he said, like that, and then also just throwing in these phrases of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't really.
Well, Michigan's woke. We know that. 100% we know that, right?
Well, look,
University is, but do they dictate completely what Jim Harbaugh has to go up there and say at the podium?
No, but I think the thing with Jim, it's this. It's it'd be different to me a little bit if you didn't have all this other NCAA stuff going on. If you were suspended the first 4 games or 3 games.
But is this a response to that? Is the NCAA trying to suspend this guy over nothing, and so he's saying, hey, or is it the reverse? Is the NCAA really targeting him specifically because he has this ethos of, hey, the NCAA is a racket, and the guys who are the product on the field need.
I don't know. Then I think a lot of other teams and coaches would be suspended because I can't find one coach who likes the NCAA.
Yeah, I can't find one either.
I just think he did something he shouldn't have done, which was somewhat silly in my opinion. It's almost like the Mason Smith thing at LSU, and he got suspended for it, which is debatable. I think it's stupid anyways. Y'all aren't going to lose any of those games anyways, to be honest. People can sit up here and gas East Carolina. I saw a TikTok about how East Carolina's going to kill Michigan. Y'all are going to get drugged. All right, I'll tell you right now.
All the beer in the world in the
drug by Michigan. Michigan has an elite roster at almost every position. But Jim Harbaugh, at some point, man, you got to lock it in. You got to lock it in.
Rule 14.
It's time to strap it up and play football, dog. What are you focused on right now? I want you to get focused on so when you get to a playoff, you don't lose to a team that's worse than you in TCU. All right, it's time to get over the hump. And what do the great ones do? What do the great ones do? No distractions.
Block out the noise.
No distraction. It's like Saban. He's an exception. Everything Saban touches becomes a distraction, but he turns it into a what? A good thing.
That's why
Kirby had these guys convinced they're going to win 7 games last year.
And they did.
Yeah.
But then more.
Yeah.
But that was the first
only
7.
won 7 games last year.
They won 7.
Jim, I get
and
it.
then 7 more.
You're a nice guy. You're a great. You're a
And
nice
one
guy. We all know that. But this is time to lock it.
All right, let's go to the NFL here. Matt Stafford is apparently struggling to connect with the younger Rams teammates. This surprising revelation comes from Stafford's wife, Kelly, who revealed during the most recent episode of their Morning After with Kelly Stafford podcast.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Matt's been in the league for a long time. The difference in the locker room has changed so significantly, saying that guys are looking at their phone more than connecting in there. And he's got he had the managers create a Facebook so he can get to know all the guys. Is this the beginning of the end for Matt Stafford's career?
2 things. 1, this is why you don't start a podcast with your wife. Nothing good comes of that. Nothing good can come of that. Do you think Matt Stafford was after she said that, he was this isn't book club with the girls, like where you guys just get together and
It is
white,
now.
white wine and gossip about it. I don't need you airing what's going on in the locker room or problems that I'm having to the world on Wake Up with Kelly podcast. Like, this is why you don't do it. Listen, you want to start a podcast and you can talk about whatever you want.
She did.
Don't talk about, except
what she did.
Except this. Don't talk about what's going on in the locker room. So you mean to tell me like they got together and Matt Stafford's like, guys, listen, what if we created a system of faces, like a book of faces?
Faceback?
And we called it Facebook.
You're a little late to the party, pal.
Yeah, that's already been invented. But no, I just like, Kelly, you and Jim Harbaugh, you know what you do, Kelly? You go in the kitchen.
You get that warm glass.
You get that glass.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Why don't you start a podcast? Why don't you talk about anything else?
I just hope that he doesn't know Cooper Kupp too well this season.
You hadn't seen. What's Cooper's wife's name? It's like Wake Up with Jillian or something.
Talking about Cooper Kupp's wife like that.
Yeah, I didn't know what her name is.
I
don't need you to start a wife podcast about what's going on in the locker room.
Why don't all the young receivers who haven't proven anything for the Rams trying to connect with Matt Stafford, who's an elite quarterback for I don't know how long in the NFL, but they're sitting there on their phones. If anything, I'm Matt Stafford. I'm more pissed about that. I'm not going out of my way to connect to connect with y'all. Like, y'all have something to prove. If you're smart, if you really want to get ahead in this league, you want to get a foot up in this league, you would spend every waking moment try to get in that guy's head and find a connection.
That's what the Jets receivers are doing right now with Aaron Rodgers.
Garrett Wilson and them are like hooking up like total.
They're trying no-look passes.
When it comes to quarterback and receiver, you're only as good as your chem. I promise you that. You're only good as your chemistry. Because it's going to come it comes to a part in the game to where you run a route, but sooner or later the play's going to what? Yeah. It's going to break down. And mentally, it's got to be an avatar situation. Yeah. They get the back of their hair and you put it and it connects and you have to be on the same page. And you don't get that by looking at your phone and getting on X or getting on TikTok or doing little dances. You do that by getting on the field and spending almost every waking moment you can with each other. Yeah. That's how you get to the promised land.
Good chem. There's good chem right now.
Love the chem.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's go to the Cardinals. So they do not plan to activate quarterback Kyler Murray from the physically unable to perform list, which means that he will miss at least the first 4 games of the season. Oh, and then they cut Colt McCoy as well. So either Josh Dobbs or rookie Clayton Tune out of Houston will start game 1.
Clayton Tune actually looked better than what I thought he was going to a little bit in the preseason. I'll say this. The Cardinals aren't anywhere near being ready to compete. You might as well get Kyler to make this last run with Kyler Murray. You got the contract situation obviously taken care of, kind of weathered the storm. You got a new coach in town. Cliff Kingsbury went to Thailand, came back, hung out with Chow, all those guys. But I like Jonathan Gannon. I want to give him a chance. Their roster's nowhere near, like I said, being able to compete. You might as well get Kyler Murray 100% healthy. I just want to make sure, hey, you got these first 4 weeks off. I don't want to walk in there and you're just like, ordering airstrikes on Call of Duty all the time. I need you to be locked in with everybody.
This Kyler Murray's last contract with Arizona?
God. I would think so. 1, there hasn't been any new COD game come out, so I don't know what the kid's playing these days. But 2, man, yeah. Is he been a bust? Has he been a bust? Realistically, I mean, he got hurt last year. Would he get hurt week 12, I believe? He's a phenomenal talent. I mean, you traded Isaiah Simmons for like a 6th-round pick. And Isaiah Simmons, that's a steal in my estimation. Isaiah Simmons was a dog at Clemson. No more D-Hop. I mean, who do you really have? You just got a new coach. Like, if you're Kyler, like, even when you come back, you're not going to have a lot of pieces. You're not. You're not going to be a great team. But do you trust Kyler Murray if you're the GM and you're the head coach of this football team? I wouldn't. I would not.
All right, let's go to Major League Baseball. Julio Rodriguez remains sizzling at the plate. 4 more hits, including a 2-run homer and an RBI double in his past 10 games. Rodriguez has 28 hits. Okay, the most by any player in a 10-game span since Kenny Lofton had 28 from April 10 to April 22nd. That was in 1997. That includes 5 games of at least 4 hits. According to Elias Sports Bureau research, Rodriguez is the only player since 1900 with 5 4-hit games in a 10-game span. And it's not just him. Seattle has won 4 straight in 12 of 13 as the hottest team in baseball, kept rolling behind, just unstoppable on offense. The Mariners have 20 wins in August, matching the most in a month in franchise history with 2 games remaining.
What did I say at the All-Star break? Watch out for the Mariners. Watch out for the Brewers. Brewers right now up 5 games because the Reds have fallen off a cliff. You brought up the Mariners. J-Rod's as hot as, you brought up Kenny Lofton in 97. By the way, Kenny Lofton and Ryan Klesko, I can go way back.
Ryan Klesko.
Way back if we have to. You know, the saying, when you're hot, but he's on a different planet right now when it comes to hot. And it's not like J-Rod's somebody that they don't know. He's getting a lot of fastballs up and in that he's able to turn and burn on. I mean, we saw what he did in the home run derby. He's a superstar. Looks like a beach ball right now. The guy's hand-eye coordination's ridiculous. Shout out to him. I hope he stays hot. Love the Mariners. Love the color scheme. Shout out to Jose Altuve, too, here for the cycle last night.
First Astro to hit for the cycle since 2013. Jose Altuve last
Cheater.
night.
Yeah.
No, awesome. Mariners looking good.
Yeah, I believe Rodriguez outscored the Yankees for like a week by himself. Yeah.
Last one, Ronald Acuna Jr. for the Braves. These two fans rushed on the field. They were playing the Rockies last night. I've watched this like 5 times. I still don't understand what's going on here. Are they just trying to celebrate with it?
Yeah, they're trying to get a picture.
Bad?
Yeah, look, I don't care. You don't touch. We're almost to October. You don't touch Ronald Acuna. If I'm Alex Anthopoulos, I am sprinting out of the box with a baseball bat. I am running down there, and we're going to protect
There's the second
Ronald.
fan. Pushed him over.
I mean, we have to have this guy.
They have to be drunk, right?
Here's the thing.
Yeah, they're not sober.
It doesn't look malicious,
here's
but
the
it's
thing.
still
I don't know what the penalty is for this, but this goes to October, a year in prison.
This is why you need
jail, prison.
This is why you need former football players, especially you would want to go defensive when it comes to security.
Yeah,
they might be.
All right, I want to. No, they're not. I see that one guy's 5'4". Unless he's in the DFL, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like you need guys that get there before.
Yeah.
Because Acuna, you can't hit him. You can't hit him. You know how much these are worth for Ronald Acuna? All right, it's almost a Ron Burgundy don't touch the face situation. All right, you can't hit him if you're Acuna. They want to get pictures, obviously, but come on, guys, we got to be on top.
Yeah,
of this,
of course the Rockies don't have security. Of course, they can't do anything right, so they'll never win. You know what? We're getting off it's a Jackie Moon situation. We're taking the team off the field.
Look, man.
If I'm Brian Snicker, team's coming off the field.
Got a big check. You're gonna.
It's like, you know what? We'll eat this one. We'll lose this one. We're only 85-45 and up 12 and a half games as the season's winding down here. Get the team off the field. Get them off the field.
Look, man, last time Acuna wasn't in the lineup, they won the World Series. So, I'm just saying.
Inside job?
Is that an inside job?
Inside job.
Did Anthopoulos send him?
Alex.
Did I send him?
Whatever he does, he's got it figured out.
Yeah.
He's got it figured out.
Well, whatever baseball team Blaine touches just absolutely just disintegrates.
That is true. You can be a Rangers fan if you want.
No, I'm good. I'm not.
No, I need you to start being a Dodgers fan for the playoffs.
That is true. Be a Dodgers
That's what I need. We need to start being a Dodgers fan.
But he just got that jacket.
I'm being a Dodgers fan? Like, I don't switch up. All right, this isn't a switch up.
How long you been a Jaguars fan?
What did I switch from?
You had a favorite team before then. You didn't have any NFL team.
So you don't switch up, but when LeBron changes teams, you do switch up.
No, it's not switching up. I'm a LeBron fan.
No.
I'm not switching up on Bron.
Why you got Lakers socks on?
Huh?
I know you got Lakers
Can't
socks
see
on.
through this boot.
Das Boot. All right, we got Tim Brando coming on. Before we do this, get to the Booster Club.
Let's go to
shoot, did I miss the Holly Rowe thing?
Oh, Holly Rowe.
Yes.
Oh,
Holly
yeah.
Rowe fired back.
Look,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. First of all, Holly Rowe.
She said, yo, this is to Blaine, because we put out, and this is the truth. Auburn's like 16-13 in football when Holly Rowe calls games, which is an awful percentage. That's not acceptable
good.
at Auburn. That's not good. She said, yo, don't blame me. I've never missed a tackle. Also had plenty of Auburn games when they went 14-0.
There you go.
So, just take away that undefeated season,
And they're 2
and they're
and 13.
probably like 7-13.
First of all, I just want everyone at Holly Rowe does a great job.
She does. Holly does.
Phenomenal what she does. But 2, it is your fault. I do blame you because every time you're there where you do a great job, we lose. All right. So, I mean, 16-13, that's not great. This isn't UMass. All right.
Are those the stats for real? 16?
Yeah.
16-13. That's not good.
good.
So Holly does a great job.
You know what that gets you at Auburn?
It gets you fired.
I enjoy watching her not be at Auburn games.
Yeah.
All right. So Holly,
But Holly, we do love you.
Yeah, we do.
You do a great job. All right, let's get to the Booster
Let's go to Go Deeks 35 with a $5 donation. Appreciate it. So I can't believe 3 Southern boys didn't have the Bojangles tailgate box on their top 5 tailgate list. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh, he's going corporate?
Look,
corporate food?
Look, yeah, we're not corporate, but I will say
Well, Mama's
there's a Bojangles located somewhat near me. And the two best biscuits from a fast food places, and I will die on this hill. Hardee's chicken biscuit, Bojangles Cajun chicken biscuit.
Wow, the Hardee's love. More than Chick-fil-A, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'll take Chick-fil-A sandwich if I want a sandwich, but I'm talking about a biscuit.
Bojangles is mid at best.
There he comes.
You know what? Let's do
there he comes
now.
Let's
mess his other Achilles up.
Please. Might as well do it before Thursday, please.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's go to Colson Duggins with a $5 donation. Says, well, it's my level up today. It's everyone's damn birthday
Everybody's
today.
birthday today. Goodness gracious.
Well, it's my level up today. 27. My wife took me to a Titans-Patriots game on Friday to celebrate.
Nice.
Willis is better than Tannehill. Duh.
I mean, yeah, I think they're
We'll
both.
see.
They're both not going to have. The Titans aren't going to win anything with either one of them. So,
All right, let's go to Max Irwin with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Max. Max, hashtag Ask Blaine. That's me. In your scenario in the Big Ten East, Ohio State would win based on the next tiebreaker being conference record for cross-division opponents. I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure Michigan has a tiebreaker over Ohio State because they beat them.
yeah, how many losses do you have Ohio State having?
1.
To Michigan.
To Michigan.
And Michigan, you
losing
have
to
going
Penn
undefeated.
State on the road.
So it's 3-way tie.
Michigan.
Michigan over Ohio State. Does Ohio State beat Penn State?
Correct.
You only have one loss.
Yeah. You're wanting chaos. Like, that's how I want chaos in the ACC.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's go to Daily Wire Friends, $10 donation. Appreciate it, guys. I'm looking to coming on for sure. Charles Dossett. Justine, $5 donation. Appreciate it, Charles. Producer Justine, who's your pick to win the national championship? Put you on the spot, kid.
This might shock you, but, I think maybe NC State.
Don't say NC State.
NC State.
NC
I'm just
State.
kidding. We'll never win it. It's fine. I'll go with Michigan for Cone, even though I think the wokeness might ruin it. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's go to $5 donation from Austin Sidwell. Austin, appreciate it, brother. What's up, boys? My son Peyton has his first middle school football game today. How about some motivation? He plays linebacker and receiver.
That's so
Ooh, I like
cool,
that,
man.
Peyton. I like that.
That's so cool.
Look, man, go enjoy it. Go enjoy it. How, did he say how old he was?
I don't believe so. No, he
Listen
did
to
not.
your father.
Listen to your
coaches.
father, make decisions, do your homework, eat your vegetables, and you'll become a better football player. Remember, I said that. All right. Speaking about better, it doesn't get any better than our next guest, our good friend, Timmy B. Saw him on the call at Snapdragon.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not a festival that's right after Coachella. That's the new stadium in San Diego State where they played Ohio at home. The real Ohio Cone, the way you say it?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Bobcats.
Tim Brando, Fox Sports. Timmy B, what's up? What's up, my friend?
Well, gentlemen, I'm good. People are saying I'm getting ready for football. I'm like, well, I've already done one. So where you been?
That's exactly right. Man, watch you and Spencer celebrate 25 years, 25th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Saw Spencer's beautiful voice regale us. But
Yeah.
before the game, I do want to ask you, me and you have talked about how bad Qualcomm, was really in general.
Right.
How much did you enjoy Snapdragon? Was it a good fit? Was it a good feel?
Well, I have great memories of the old Jack Murphy Stadium because I did the '89 Holiday Bowl, which was one of the most incredible
Tell me about that.
Holiday Bowls ever played. At the time, Ty Detmer, or as Vince Dooley, the late great Vince Dooley, called him that night with me on ESPN. Ty Detmer, Timmy, the best sophomore quarterback I think I've ever seen. He threw for like 93 yards, almost 500 yards in the air.
It's unheard of back then.
A single game record at that time. But Blair Thomas, BYU couldn't stop him. And in the end, the late Gary Brown, who converted to running back but was a safety, and I want to say he might have been a freshman on that team, on a safety blitz, came and missed Detmer, whiffed, and they came back from behind him. Ty didn't feel him at all. He went back to pass it, and he just stole the ball. Just took it right out of his hands, went the other way. BYU was on its way to scoring and likely would have won the game. It was one of those games where you just thought, last team that has it wins the game. Paterno was in pain the entire night. And it was a typical Lavelle Edwards kind of evening, but they didn't win the game. But, the stadium, Snapdragon, is literally next door to where Murph or Qualcomm used to be. Okay. There's a vacant parking lot where the Murph was. So as we were driving up, I had all these memories of the Holiday Bowl and having been there in SeaWorld and that whole bit. But you get inside there, it's intimate. It holds about 35. Their AD's a really good guy. Decker's his name. He came from Southern Miss. He actually tutored under the great Bill McClellan, one of the great administrators in the history of independent Southern football. I got to know him during the Brett Favre years when Curly Hallman was there.
Curly Hallman.
And he's done a great job as athletic director. And we had a nice conversation about the letter he sent, to the Mountain West about what they needed to do if they wanted to secede from we talked a little bit about that whole situation with the Pac-12. And he's really proud of that facility, and he should be. The broadcast location is immaculate, just absolutely immaculate. There are a lot of new stadiums in college football that just don't think about television, and they did, and they did a great job with it. But it's a neat environment. I think that program, San Diego State, whether they stay in the Mountain West, if the Mountain West grows, or if there's an option for them to go elsewhere, should the Pac-12 find a way to hold on to Cal and Stanford, which I think is still open for debate. San Diego State is a program that brings a lot of value. And by the way, the campus is awesome. Their facilities there are tremendous. And just going there and seeing the baseball park and the memorial to Tony Gwynn, and then thinking about where the basketball program now is with Brian Dutcher. Okay. My goodness, that's a quality athletic program that they've got right there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Tony Gwynn, I saw a stat where they said if Pete Rose came out of retirement and went 750 for his next 750, he still wouldn't have as good of a batting average as Tony Gwynn.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous
there you go.
to think about.
Yeah.
But Timmy B, me and you talked a little bit. We got some big games this weekend. Week 2, week 3 as we call it here. We got some huge games. But Texas, I know you're not sold on them. I've got them going undefeated, winning the Big 12, getting to the playoff, and losing to LSU. We disagree there a little bit, huh?
Yeah, we do. But hey, we agree on a lot of other things.
We actually do. This year it's weird. We're very congruent on a lot. What do you think Texas's downfall is going to be?
Defense. I just don't think they make enough plays. And the biggest issue they have, and if they can solve this, if Sark has it solved, and if Chris Del Conde, an athletic director I think the world of, look, I have no axe to grind with Texas, but they have a culture issue at that university. And when I say that, people go, whoa, what do you mean? It has really nothing to do with the players, although there's a trickle down to the players because of the culture. Way too many people involved that are not a part of the athletic department that sway and curry favor, so to speak. There are political battles. There's a lot of political infighting in Austin. Okay. The state of Texas, I know, is considered a red state, a conservative state, but Austin is probably its most liberal city. And I mean, you really just can't get around it. And some of the issues historically, the tradition with the university has come to pass from the Eyes of Texas song and its meaning or double meaning, all that. And they let throughout the last few years anyway, they've let a lot of that, I think, get out of hand. They got to find a way to get past that in unison. And kids are smart. These athletes are bright, and their ears perk up when they hear the noise. And I think that's been probably the issue. Not so much the players that have been recruited. They've always been able to get the best athletes in the Big 12, but they've not been able to mesh together as a team. I thought for years that, and I know Tom Herman tried to work with this, Charlie Strong tried to work with this, they had a club med mentality. And I think part of that goes back to when Mac Brown was there, and God bless Mac. I mean, he gave them their last national championship, could have had a second, but he was getting these 5-star players in early recruiting. He had them wrapped up when they were sophomores and juniors. And by the time these guys actually got to Austin, I think they came in feeling a level of privilege, and they did not perform. They simply did not perform to the level of their so-called recruiting rating. And I think maybe some of that is changing now. The portal might be helpful in that regard. NIL is certainly big for them. No question about that. Their quarterback room is great. If they beat Alabama, you may be right. I just don't think they will.
Yeah.
And what has happened to Texas is when they dropped a game, an important game, there's been a tendency for them to not be ready for the next one, not play particularly well in so-called sandwich games after big games.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So it's kind of kind of an alignment issue, not hey, you're supposed to line up in a 3, why are you lined up in a 2I, but alignment issue at the university, maybe a little spoiled rich kid syndrome. Maybe a little bit of that. Hopefully, I'm rooting for Sark. Again, I think it is going to come down to defense. I think it's kind of not a similar problem that USC has. I've watched USC be physical. I think it's a Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch problem more than it's a USC problem when we look out there. But I hope they can figure it out there at Texas this year, because I got them going. I got them winning the Big 12 and losing the playoff. But we'll see. We'll see. They got to prove it.
You may be right. And maybe they're catching Saban at the right time, because Nick made a fool out of himself yesterday. And I tweeted about it, and it was pathetic what he said.
Tell everybody what you said. Tell everybody what you said
about not delivering a depth chart. Well, this just in. There's a little history, with me and depth charts. All right. I think it was 4 years ago, maybe 5. Or hell, it might have been 6. It might have been 17. I went in, Jim Harbaugh wasn't putting out, and it was widely known that he wasn't putting out depth charts for anybody. And I just thought that was out of place and tone deaf to particularly those that follow the team, and the press, I think, deserves something to work with. Okay, I mean, it's just. And by the way, when millions are being paid, whether it's to the SEC or to the Big Ten, to broadcast a game, there should be some standards. It's not asking much to put out a 2-deep depth chart. And if you're not sure who your quarterback's going to be, well, then stack 3 of them there. Okay, Monroe or the next guy or the next guy. I really don't care if it's Buckner or whoever it is. Just stack them. All right, but. Now, look, he may turn out to, and I'm guessing he will, allow ESPN's talent, whoever's doing the game for the SEC network against Middle Tennessee, to, get a depth chart of some sort, and then ask them to embargo it and not release it to anybody. But to say what he did to his local media, it was bullying. And he does that often. It's beneath him. Harbaugh and I, by the way, did have a Twitter spat over it. I made mention that I thought it was sophomoric what he was doing. He took exception and tweeted me back. To Jim's credit, I mean, he came right back at me, and we went at it for a while, and we talked it out when I got to Ann Arbor. He understood where I was coming from. But Saban, to say that, hey, you guys think this is set in stone forever, this is affecting my flesh. Come on, Dick. Come on. I mean, that's beneath you. And frankly, you don't just go into the booth and get ready to do a game without having done some homework. This is my depth chart, okay? That's what it looks like. Offense, defense, special teams, both teams. It looks like a call sheet for the West Coast offense, okay? It's big.
looks like Operation Overlord.
Yeah. And it looks like an F paper. It's chicken scratch by the time I get there when we get the anecdotes from the coaches. And when you and I get done today, I'm going to, in a couple of hours, be talking with the Central Michigan coaches, Jim McElwain and his staff, some players, because we have a game on Friday with Michigan State. But, you need something to work with so that when you go in to meet with the coaches, the staff, and the players, whether it be Thursday or Friday, you need to have your skeleton and your foundation for your depth charts done. It's beyond the pale to say some of the things that he gets away with saying and treat the media there the way he does, have them believe that they need to genuflect and cower at his every move. And I just thought the lame excuse given, enough already. I think there are a lot of people in the media that feel, even now, if we don't pick Alabama, oh my God, Nick might be pissed.
Yeah.
Well, so what? Be pissed. Okay,
He hadn't sent me a check yet.
Yeah. I mean, send me one of those Mercedes, pal. I mean, come on. It's just enough. I'm tired.
Oh,
he's the guy that sets the bar. He's the standard bearer. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. And I know Nick. I like Nick, but by God, I'm not going to cower to the guy. I'm 3 years younger than him. We're contemporaries. And he feels he's the best at what he does. Well, by God, I feel like I'm one of the best at what I do. Mm-hmm. And when I see something like that I believe is wrong, I'm going to call him out. He is not above being called out by anybody.
That's an interesting perspective from someone who's done it for a long time.
Talk your ish, Timmy B.
Tim,
Talk your ish.
We got our first look at USC and Notre Dame this past weekend. Both won big in very different ways, though. Your first impressions.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I think Notre Dame's going to be different because of Sam Hartman. I put them, as you know, just on the edge of my top 10. I had them as the first team out of my top 10. I said I believe they can beat Ohio State. I think they serve notice why they can beat Ohio State, particularly at home and with a quarterback like him that can force a defense to have to deal with the breadth, width, and the depth of the field. Now, Navy's not Ohio State by any stretch, and the outcome of that game may have been more of a byproduct of Navy not being good versus Notre Dame being that good. USC's problems, as I said, I put them right there with Texas as being most overrated. That was one of the teams I didn't have rated at all, as you guys remember, and I didn't have him even in my just out category. I don't think they're the third best team in the Pac-12. I don't. So their problems are defense, and you can't just fix that. I mean, and by the way, San Jose State's not a bad team.
Yeah,
they've been good, not that far removed from a Mountain West title a few years ago, back during the COVID year, and they're well coached. But I mean, 396 yards, almost 400 yards given up. That's not a pretty good look. And USC at some point is going to have to deal with Utah. They're going to have to deal with other teams that match up favorably against them. And there are a lot of them, in my opinion. So those are the games that jumped out, other than the one that we had, which was competitive. And I think the kid Rourke, I believe, is going to be okay. Yeah. Quarterback at Ohio U, by the way, that got knocked out early. I think he did tweak a little bit that ACL, and his coach, Tim Albin, probably did the right thing. It's going to be hard to win the MAC division and to get back to the MAC title game, but I don't think either team played their best, but it was competitive.
Mm-hmm. It was a fun game to watch, for sure.
Let's go to Utah, Florida, Timmy B. How worry about it if you're Utah if the Dark Knight Cam Rising does not play in that game?
Well, he and Keithy, remember the tight end also is injured and or has been, and those are vital guys. I mean, they love to go 12 personnel and use him, and they can line him up off the line of scrimmage at times. Their run game is really good, and certainly they still have the defense, which could be the calling card for them in a lot of games, and it may well be in this one too against Florida. If Richardson were back, I would be worried if I were Utah, but he's not, and I think that the long memory of what happened to that team for Whittingham is probably stinging even to this day. Mm-hmm. And going into that stadium, by the way, Ross Eccles, that's a tough place, man. Mm-hmm. That's one of those vastly underrated home fields out west. It's not quite as good an environment maybe as Alton, but it's right up there. I still think Utah will win the game, but Florida has a much better chance now if Cam Rising's not completely healthy and can't go.
Go out there in Utah, play with Bigfoot and werewolves.
The game's sitting at -6.5 Utah right now.
Over-under still at 45.5?
I believe, and I don't think that's factoring if Cam Rising doesn't play. So
God,
Cam Rising,
under,
Cam
man.
Rising
I'm leaning
play,
toward
I
that
wouldn't
under.
Be surprised if this game shoots down to a 2.
I'd lean on the under because Whittingham, if Cam is not completely healthy, he'll play small ball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, let's bunt and run. Yeah. Let's bunt and run.
Timmy B. Travis Elrod wants to know.
Love some Travis.
Will Dana Holgerson still be at Houston after this season?
Well, he needs to perform well this year. They lost a number of close games last year in what was a very competitive league. That UTSA game is very important. Okay, very important, and they barely beat them in overtime in the Alamo Dome last year. And I would say if Tulane, which is my group of 5, fly in the ointment in my top 10, if it's not Tulane, I think it is UTSA. That's your next best bet as a team from outside the so-called Power 5. I don't like going there anymore. I'm trying to stay away from saying power and group of. I just want to say Division I college football now. But yeah, I think that those early games are critical. They've got a lot that, they open with TCU in the Big 12, and that's a game Spencer and I are going to have on September the 16th in primetime on Big Fox. And I think that that's a very important game for them too. Getting off to a really good start is huge. I think Tillman Fertitta, though, and the other people that are investing in the program, and they've had a lot of investment in Houston. I have said to a lot of people, I think Houston long-term is the program coming into the Big 12 that has the best upside. But short-term, BYU is the team to look out for because they're ready-made grown men, as we like to say, play for Kalani Shiitake, and that team also plays strong defensively. So won't that be fun, by the way, having the Holy War as a rivalry in the Big 12. It's going to be great.
Here's an interesting one for Houston.
It's a tough year for Dana. Dana's got to get it done and have a good record. 7 or 8 wins, first year Big 12. I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, he doesn't watch out. Jeff Traylor's going to go from UTSA to Houston, not just to play him in the first game.
October 21st.
He's like Joey McGuire. He is.
Yeah. October 21st, Texas goes to Houston. All right. Now, that may seem like a no-brainer win for Texas to a lot of people, but keep in mind, Texas is going to have to go on the road to Houston, Baylor, and TCU. 3 Texas teams that they may be playing for the last time in a long time.
And therein lies the reason you and I are at odds over Texas, my friend. Okay, Jake, that's why. Because they are already the targeted team. Every time they go on the road, it's like being a homecoming opponent, even though they may be favored in most of those games. Okay, playing at Baylor will not be easy because Baylor's going to be good. They get a run game to go with Blake Shapen. I think that's a team to keep an eye on. Aranda's not going to have 2 bad years in a row. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And when you look at Texas Tech and Houston, by the way, that's a game Texas really doesn't want to play.
I know.
For a long time, they were saying, well, by God, we're not going to be in the Big 12 if Houston's in the league. That whole medical center school thing is a problem for the overlords of the Texas program. All right. They don't like upstart Houston, never have. And trust me, that's a game that is circled there. But I think Texas does have enough probably to beat the Cougs this year. But I'm not sure about Baylor, and I'm not sure about a lot of those games that they've got to play on the road. Texas Tech has been a thorn in their side, since Kingsbury was there. I mean, beat them at times when, they had, 500 teams. Kingsbury was able to beat them. So, and he even beat them at Texas, which, I don't think he had ever won a game at that stadium as a quarterback or as a coach until he beat them Thanksgiving weekend back in 2015, I think it was. So there's a lot of history here, and Texas is the target. Oklahoma to a certain degree as well, but Texas much more so. They are the most hated team on the road in the Big 12, whether they're leaving or not. They are.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be up there at Michigan State. They take on the Chippewas of Central Michigan. Timmy B, it's always great to have you, my friend. Tell everybody what time they can catch you on the call.
I believe the game is at 7. I'll check your local listings.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's 7 o'clock on Friday night. I love these Friday night games, particularly when you got a MACtion matchup against a Big Ten opponent. Because, for instance, Buffalo plays Wisconsin. Similar type game at Camp Randall on Saturday, and it's in the middle of a bunch of other games that are being played. Friday night, a lot more eyeballs will be zooming in. And speaking of coaches that are a little under the gun and need to perform well, Mel Tucker, you can put him in the top 4 or 5 on that list. And with all that money that the former walk-on Matt Ishbia brought to the program, and he's responsible for a lot of that $9 million that Mel got. I like Mel a lot. I root for the guy. I really do. He's a captivating personality, a really good coach. But since Walker left, they haven't found themselves. Now, I do think that he found an answer at quarterback. I do. And we'll get a good look at that and see against this Central Michigan team that's got some quality players, especially wide receivers, out of the portal. And Jim McElwain, there's another guy you don't expect to have back-to-back losing seasons. They won 12 games. He was MAC Coach of the Year right out of the gates when he got there. Went 4-8 a season ago. So they want to, and they're picked to be, in the hunt in their division in the MAC. So I think it's going to be a very close game. What's the spread in that game? I think it's probably
14.5 last time I saw it.
Yeah, I think it'll come down under 2 touchdowns by the time we hit air. That's my prediction. I think it'll be a much closer game than Michigan State wants.
14.5 still. Yep.
Well, Timmy B, thanks so much, brother. We appreciate it as usual. Can't wait to watch you on Friday and talk to you about some of the crazy games we got coming up here in the next couple weeks as well.
You got it. And memo to the coaches, okay? Get the depth charts out, for Christ's sakes. This isn't nuclear science, all right? It's not. It's football. We can figure it out, but give us a little something to work with. And stop treating your local media as though they're underlings or the munchkins along Yellow Brick Road. We represent the Lollipop King. And Saban's the Lollipop King, for crying out loud.
Oh, my goodness. Definitely. Well, we appreciate it, Timmy B. You're the best, man.
You got it.
Enjoy it Friday. Congrats on the 25 years, too.
Congrats, Timmy.
Thanks, man.
See you, brother.
You bet. All right.
Tim Brando,
let's take a moment.
Saving the lollipop.
Only. The one and only. Yeah, clip that.
Oh, man.
All right, we're going to get to our top 5 games this week. We're going to start doing this each week. All right, we're really excited about this. But before that, all right, college football season, obviously we've talked about it's back. Surprise, surprise. We got NFL on the horizon. Major League Baseball playoffs a little bit further on the horizon, but technically, scientifically, still on the horizon. All right, and we know you're going to be grilling out, whether it's in the backyard, whether that's at the tailgate, and the worst thing you can have is have a gas grill and go out there and turn on the propane, and you blew it.
What?
And you
don't blow it.
Yeah, don't be that guy. We'll never forgive you. I'll never talk to you again. All right, so our friends at Cinch, they can make sure you're always prepared. They're the best game plan. There's no questions about play calling. Should we go for this on 4th and 1? Should we kick a field goal?
No.
You're always ready to make the play. Cinch is a propane grill tank home delivery service. They deliver the tanks right to the door, to your door on your schedule. It's basically Julio Rodriguez right now, and it does not require any long-term commitment or subscription. Plus, delivery is completely contactless. All right, so you don't have to wait around at home. You can track the order on your Cinch app from anywhere. The perfect summer night would not be complete without Cinch. So go to cinch.com. That's CYNCH.com and use our promo code BOOSTER. You see in the pattern here with the promo codes. That's CYNCH.com, promo code BOOSTER to get your first tank exchange for just $10. CYNCH.com, promo code BOOSTER. It's a limited time offer. You must live within a Cinch service area to redeem it. Visit cinch.com/offer for details. Just go to cinch.com. Use the promo code BOOSTER.
You may be saying, well, I use a charcoal grill, so I don't need that. How are you going to start your grill gun without your propane tank?
That's exactly right.
Okay? How are you going to start your charcoal grill with your grill gun if you don't have your Cinch propane tank?
Hey, it's handy capable. You get over there and grab it. Good for you. Look at you. Beating the odds. Yes, I can. Say it with me. Yes, I can. Yeah!
There it is.
That's right.
That feels good.
Don't do it. Don't do it. This isn't Hostel, the movie. Okay, gonna get to the Booster Club here in a second. Top 5 games this week.
Top 5, top 5, top 5.
Order of the ones we think they're gonna be the best. Number 1, tell them, David.
Florida State, Louisiana State. We've only been talking about it for what? A year now?
Yes.
Maybe at this point?
Like 8 years.
I can't wait for this game.
We're gonna live stream it.
There's gonna be a live stream
from your house.
Well, and we need Mason Smith to just say, hey, I'm going out there and playing football.
Yeah.
Or maybe Jason Smith.
Maybe we get old Warskull the caller.
Realistically, who's going to stop you?
Yeah.
Don't look in the mirror, dog. Who's going to stop you? Think some 5'8" white guy from the NCAA is going to come down here and tell you?
Hey, Don Smitherman came down here to make sure Mason Smith
got to be white. Man.
Huh?
Why's he got to be white?
I'm just white.
Yeah.
WHIT. All right. The second game. Like I said, we are going to be live streaming that on Sunday, so make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Yep.
You all right?
No, yeah. That's South Carolina, not USC.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
Write that
boy.
down. Write that down. Let's see. Blew it on the logo.
So UNC will play South
We'll play
Carolina
the price.
week 2.
Yeah.
Let's play that one out, though. North Carolina, Southern Cal. How would that game go?
Over
How would that game
1,000.
go?
Over
The
a
two-
million.
Over 1,000.
Over
Boy,
yeah,
we'll
Heisman
fix that
Trophy
graphic
preview.
before we put it on social media. Yeah, North Carolina versus South Carolina should be a hell of a game on Saturday.
Yeah.
I've already locked in the over 64.5. That's going to be our second game. Then, third, Clemson
Sneaky.
at Duke.
Sneaky.
Sneaky Monday. Clemson 13.5 points.
If you're Cade, you didn't want this.
No.
You didn't want this. Can we get a UMass?
Why are we going to play the scientists week
Can we
one?
get a New Mexico State? All right. Can we just get something
South Carolina
easy?
State? Can I get
Yeah.
South Carolina State?
This ain't-
They're gonna
Please
play
help out.
They're gonna play you for 4 quarters, then go take the LSAT.
Yeah.
This ain't the old Duke football team anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Going on the road and playing Mike Elko.
Hell, I'd rather
I
go
think,
play him
man,
in
like
basketball right now.
Duke's had some quarterbacks lately.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones
Yeah.
looking
They're
good.
racking it up a
Figured
little
it
bit.
out. You just better
man.
hope
They're
Brian
racking it up a
Daboll
little
didn't show up
bit.
to watch the game. And then fourth.
This game's gonna be great.
That's right. South Alabama
USA. USA. There they go.
at Tulane. All right, this should be a hell of a matchup. A lot of people, look, we're high on Tulane, high on South Alabama. This could be one when we look at the end of the year and we're trying to see that group, as Timmy B would say, the fly in the ointment. It could be the Jaguars, man. It could be South Alabama. You look at some of the personnel that they have. It's going to be pretty interesting. And then a game that we already brought up.
What's the spread on this?
South Alabama, Tulane?
UTSA, Houston. game.
UTSA is a 1.5 point favorite last time I saw on the road at Houston. That should be a hell of a game. Frank Harris
Are you gonna
Dana
bet it?
Holgerson?
You gonna bet it?
at, what's his name again? I always forget from Kingpin.
Ernie McCracken.
Ernie McCracken hair.
yeah.
Holgerson,
Yeah.
have it through the third quarter. Think that's right?
So -1 right now.
It's bound to -1.
UTSA.
So it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's pick.
Over under 60.5. Money line.
God, it's a lot of points.
Houston. Wow, this is crazy. So Houston money line right now would be +05. You can get plus money on Houston.
It's not a
Man,
bad
so those
bet.
are our top 5.
Bad
Tell
bet.
us, are there any
Honorable mention, maybe Minnesota, Nebraska.
Minnesota, Nebraska, Florida,
Right.
Yukon?
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
There's
That
some
Minnesota,
others around the
Nebraska
country
game's
that
gonna be
are going to
good.
be a little interesting. Here's the thing: Ohio State, Indiana, and we're gonna get into our. What do you think we should call this segment? I'm going to ask you guys this: Do you want 2 locks, 2 leans, and 2 little guys, or 2
like we're talking about
loves,
little guys a
2
lot
leans, and 2 little guys?
I don't know.
I feel like we're talking about little guys a lot lately. 2 locks.
Little guys.
Come on, dogs. I don't want to just be like, oh, 2 locks, 2 leans, 2 dogs. That doesn't
About
work
2
with
locks,
alliteration.
2 loves.
No, a lock is a love.
No, it's
A
not.
lock is a love.
A lock's a lot.
A lock is a love. Wow, you must have never seen
You
The
love
Patriot.
it. Yeah, you love it. I mean, yeah, you love it, but a lock is a guarantee. Love's not a guarantee.
It is if you look in the right places.
No, it's not. You can look in the right places, being loving and still fall apart.
A dog. I'll always love you.
Cap. We'll see.
Cap. I need a South Carolina on the graphic. That's what I need. That's what I want to love right now. That's what I need. But we'll talk about it. We'll workshop it. What do you think in the chat?
In the what?
In the chat. I want to see what the chat thinks.
Okay.
2 locks, 2 leans, 2 little
I don't
guys.
know what
I
you're
like
talking about
that.
right now. No, that can't be a segment name.
For the bets.
2 locks, 2 leans, and 2 little guys is the whole segment name?
Yeah.
Okay.
2
All right,
guys,
we
a
gotta
girl.
work.
and a-
We'll work on it. We'll
All right,
workshop
yeah.
it.
We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it. Just see the chat things. All right, let's get back to the booster.
Let's go to Brian Hardhead Harson with a $2 donation. Brian Hardhead Harson
Here we go.
said, "Hey guys,
Hey,
Is
Brian.
there?
have y'all seen any recent job openings?
Oh, that's
Look, man,
not right.
didn't do great at coaching your podcast.
Look, you got like $15 million to leave. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't feel bad for Brian Harson at all. You can cry me a river. Please fire me for $15 million. Sounds like a great gig.
Let's go to Tyler Jarvis with a $10 donation. Appreciate it, Tyler.
T-Jar.
He's calling on David, Michigan. I need him to go to the Gulf and destroy Tropical Storm
Sydney?
Adila.
Adila?
Idala. Stupid Storm is going to mess up my college football weekend. Happy belated birthday, Flaming Dragon. Appreciate it, Tyler.
Doesn't matter how you pronounce it. David Michigan will take care of that.
That's exactly. He'll just go and start going in reverse of which way the hurricane's going.
Exactly.
That's how you stop it.
Yes, like a
didn't know.
vortex situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
opposite vortex, opposite vacuum.
$5 donation back of the end zone. Appreciate it. Says, what do we think of the Tulane South Alabama matchup? We kind of hit that a little bit. And can South Alabama emerge as the group of 5 team?
Look, we're going to be breaking it down as we get toward the end of the week. Don't forget we have games on Thursday, and we're going to be obviously talking about those, the biggest matchups of the weekend. We kind of previewed what we think are the biggest matchups, which included South Alabama and Tulane. So yeah, we got all type of stuff coming up, keys to victory, all types of little breakouts, breakdowns, and breakups.
All right, let's go to the Daily Wire chat. Let's go to Old Movie Man 7.
Ooh.
Said, thoughts on Will Howard as a dark horse for an invite to New York. I think him and Sanat are going to be a dangerous combo.
I mean, would it surprise you at all?
No.
I mean, Will's a guy I love Colin Klein there, the OC. I love the way they play, the physicality. He's going to get a chance to run it. They get down the red zone. They're just headbutting people into the end zone. No, I would not be shocked at all. I mean, Kansas State won the Big 12 last year. They're not going to be afraid, that's for sure.
I got them winning 10 games this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Stay in the Daily Wire chat. Mine over Miller. If the 4 Pac-12 teams join the Mountain West, why not should the 16-team conference be considered a power conference?
I've thought about this again. Like, what to be I think it's more about just the amount of teams that you have to be a power conference, right? Like you have to have what huge brand names are in that conference to make them a Power 5 conference. Just because you combine, like if you take, 2 weak guys and quilt them together, you still got 2 weak guys you quilted together. It doesn't make you powerful. I think you got to have some sort of star power in there. I mean, Boise State, it's a nice brand, right? But that can't be your headline. Oregon State, like I love the Beavers going to be great this year. Shout out our boy Sean Ketz. But I don't think it's the amount of teams. I think it's who the teams are that make you a power conference, right? The amount of money you generate, right?
That's what it is, yeah.
All right, let's go to Bronco Spud. Hashtag Ask Connecticut. Do you think that with the 12-team playoff, could Boise State go to the playoffs?
What do you think?
Sure. I mean, they can make the playoff eventually. But again, Tim Brando has talked about this before. I don't think we're going to be at 12 that long. Yeah. I mean, he seems to think we're going to go to 16 right after 1 year of this TV deal that we'll have at 12. But, Boise State, we've talked about them as a team that could make a 12-team playoff, but you're going to have so many other teams vying for it. I mean, just think about the middle of the pack and say the SEC West right now.
9-3
like
becomes a whole lot different.
Like those are the type of teams I think are going to be benefiting the most earliest from an expansion like that. Or think about a Big Ten East team like Penn State. Penn State won 11 games last year, right? They're only 2 losses.
Oh, you're in.
Michigan, Ohio. Those are the kind of teams I think once you see divisions break up and an expanded playoff, those teams are going to be able to win more. And then what you've always said to me since I've known you is the parity will increase because you can go on the road and recruit then based off those little successes of even making a playoff, even if you go and lose in the first round.
That's exactly right. Slow, it's a trickle, but it is over time. It's like fixing an economy. You can't just flip a light switch. All right. Headed over to the bets board of life, love, and 2 little guys. Here's what I got. Our Booster Club bets are brought to you today by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, because new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly, like now, like this second, when they bet on just $5 of college football. That's only in DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. The crown is yours. Don't ever forget it. You already know. All right, here we go. Blaine, don't have your bets yet. We're going to do it live on air. Here's what I got. Give me the Mariners, Twins, parlay money line, -101. Then give me Houston. Apparently we don't have a problem on the money line, +100. JP France on the mound. Feeling pretty good about it. Let's see if Houston can't figure it out.
Astros tonight? All right.
Yeah.
Look, I was going U.S. Open tennis here until college football gets back. I hit on Tsitsipas yesterday. I think Zverev got postponed to today or something.
I was looking, I couldn't find Zverev, but Tsitsipas.
But I guess he plays at 10 a.m. today again. You never know with tennis. Even when it's in America. I thought for sure the games would be on time.
Not just America.
But I'm still going to take Matteo Berrettini today, -2.5 games. That's games not set. -110. And then give me Schwartzman and Dimitrov both to win in a little parlay, -108.
Sounds like a
Berrettini just looks like it sounds like he makes the best pizza in the world. Yeah. All right, here are my bets for today. Give me the Mariners -1.5. That's going off at a dirty -130. Give me the Reds Giants Nerfy. It's a -120. I need this month end. This is lately it's not going great.
What's that Nerfy at minus one?
That's minus 120 for the Nerfy.
Shoot.
Wait, what's he up by?
I don't know. It's not great.
I don't know. Cody didn't send me the numbers this morning.
Cody.
Hate to call you out, Cody. You know I love you. Okay. But
he's like, do I not do enough for y'all?
Yeah. What did the Braves do yesterday?
They won 14-4.
Wow, they covered. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Took the Rangers minus 1.5. They won by 1.
Acuna got assaulted and battered over here by fans.
Yeah.
I'm suing.
They won.
I'm absolutely
scored 14 runs again. Basically scored 2 touchdowns. Ace, he's going to join you, bet buds.
Hey, birthday boy yesterday.
Yeah.
2 years old.
Dude, that's so wild.
It is wild. It is wild.
You got a 2-year-old.
Y'all remember the day he was born? Y'all were there.
It's DJ Khaled. Ace is gonna take the Mariners minus 1.5. That's minus 130. Then he's gonna go Mariners. Is that right? Mariners Rays Nerfy? Is that who? Yeah, that's right. I believe that's right. I may have wrote that down wrong.
No,
I may have wrote that down wrong.
No, Marlins.
Marlins. Got me a Marlin. All right, so Mariners, Marlins, Nerfy. That's also a dirty minus 130. Hey, you don't see that a lot. All right, back to the Booster Club.
All right, let's catch up on some donations here. Cole Frink with the donation. LeBron is mid. MJ's the GOAT. NHL in, I think, 40 days. I have to go back and look. Let's go to Charles Dossett with a $5 donation. How do you convince us that you aren't a French spy? You buy a French bulldog and you love baked ribs.
Wow.
Explain yourself.
Well, if I was going to try and convince you I wasn't a spy, I'd probably buy an American bulldog and try and do everything to make you, like me, have no connection with France.
But now there's a reverse psychology, and you knew that you would be asked that, so you would have that response.
Let's go to Chad Smith.
Supposed to be on my team here. Team player.
Team French.
Let's go to Chad Smith, the $5 donation. Appreciate it, Chad.
Chad.
Just call it in tomorrow.
Yup.
Gonna need a Michelin star for how I'm about to cook. Boomer sooner.
Ooh, okay.
Michelin star.
Okay, by the way,
Gordon Ramsay.
Chad, I got y'all losing
Your
one
call
game.
sign's Gordon Ramsay.
I got y'all going 10-2, so, you know.
I got y'all losing one
Bring
game.
out the pots and pans on that one, brother.
I don't know who you're cooking, but this shouldn't be me. Let's go to Tim Salinas. He says, Kansas State loses 4 games this year, in my opinion. Tough schedule, and who do they even have rushing the passer?
They had replaced like half their defense, like 50% of their production on defense. But listen, I know they had Umezi, who's just an absolute stud, is going to play as a rookie a lot. I'm not worried about Kansas State finding somebody to be some guys to be junkyard dogs up front. I just think of Kansas State and I think of physicality. That's what I think of, and that's why they win. That's what Kleiman wants.
Let's go to Aaron Demers, #Ask Crane & Co. What do you think about the Louisville versus Georgia Tech game and transfer quarterback Jack Plummer from Cal and receiver Jamari Thrash from Georgia State?
That's the Aflac kickoff game now.
Look, Louisville, if you look at that schedule too, they've got one of the lightest schedules in the ACC. I love the hire of Brom. I love him getting a guy they recruited at Purdue who left, and Jack Plummer, who I believe is Jake Plummer's son. But that's not the transfer quarterback that I'm looking at. That's not the one that's going to help me decide who to bet on this game. Haynes King is the starting quarterback at Georgia Tech. And I'm sorry, can you give me that ball, David? I just can't trust somebody, Blaine, who throws like this.
I wouldn't trust him either.
And you know what? I hope he figures it out. But here's what I probably am going to take when I'm looking at it. But see, here's where the Haynes King thing's the problem again. The over in that game. I want to take the over in that game. But I don't trust Haynes King. Last time I saw, I think Louisville is a 7.5-point favorite on the road. Is Georgia Tech? Brent, I know you can't talk about gambling, all right? This isn't Iowa State. But 7.5 at home, new phone, who dis, new coach. Got a better idea of what Brom's going to do than what Brent's going to do. Talking about Brent Key, the head coach at Georgia Tech. Is it still 7.5, Dave?
Louisville, Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
It's at -8 Louisville now. Over under 49.5. Money line for Georgia Tech would be plus 210.
That's really not a bad bet.
Plus 210?
Yeah.
On the money line?
For Georgia Tech.
God, why would I not just parlay it at 8? Why would I not just parlay the plus 8 or tease it? Plus 15? That little teaser there? I don't know. We'll look at it.
Let's go to Daily Wire chat with Fat Dad. He says, I want to agree with you guys on Texas. It looks like the stars should align for them this year, but it's just not hitting me in my feels. Maybe I'm just used to Texas not living up for expectations for so long.
Look, sometimes you got to let love in. What? Who sings that?
I have no idea.
Goo Goo Dolls. right?
I don't know.
Love. Don't act like you don't know.
I don't know.
Don't act like you don't.
I want to know now.
Love in. Is that from Transformers, from the Goo Goo Dolls? I think that's right.
Let Love In
By
Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh,
Wow.
score one for Jacob. What's the poll?
Album and song.
How about that?
Nice job.
Thanks.
All right, poll.
That's a win for me.
Will Connor Wegman be the starter for Texas A&M the entire year, barring injury?
So injuries out of it.
Yep.
I say yes, 71%.
That's a lot.
It is.
I do think yes.
Let Love In.
I'll say yes, but just under that, 70%.
All right, yes, 58%,
Okay.
no, 42%.
Getting my ass
Max
kicked
Johnson
these polls
fans
lately.
in there.
Steady
I
Betty
like Max. Yep, I like Max. And we'd like it if you subscribe. Go get your Daily Wire subscription. Check out all our sponsors. DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the promo code BOOSTER. Cinch.com. Use the promo code BOOSTER. GoodRanchers.com. Guess what promo code you use? Wow, you're Miss Cleo. It's Booster. BOOSTER. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on all social medias. Twitter, we got a Crane & Company group on Facebook. Go check that out. And we got call-ins tomorrow. Shout out Timmy B. I appreciate you guys checking us out. And like the chances of us not having college football this weekend again, or actually starting Thursday, guys. I'm so excited. We're going, gone.